Legend of the Remains, Rise of the Sea of Skulls. Chapter 1 The Beginning of Rebirth. As night falls, the sky is filled with twinkling stars, like a stage where light and darkness intertwine in mythology. Lin Ziyi, a young man who struggles with the intertwining of reality and the game world, opened his eyes. He was reborn, carrying with him memories of his past life as a necromancer, the countless skeleton soldiers, dark magic, and deep despair. But at this moment, his identity is that of a highly revered paladin in the mythical world. Holy light and necromancer, both, is this a gift or a curse? Lin Ziyi thought in his heart. Within his body, the purity of the light and the coldness of the dead coexisted, sometimes warm, sometimes cold. This was the opportunity for his rebirth and the beginning of his destiny. Chapter 2 The Paladin's Shackles. As a paladin, Lin Ziyi must abide by strict teachings. He cannot kill his own people for no reason, he must purify the darkness and protect the light. He learned to use the Sword of Light and the Holy Shield, donned dazzling armor, and walked the land of the mythical world. However, the memory of the necromancer deep in his heart always called him in the dead of night. The ability to summon the skeleton legion is faintly awakened in his bloodline. He knew that if he succumbed to the shackles of the paladins, he would not be able to fulfill his dream of building an invincible army of skeletons. Chapter 3 The Night of Breaking the Precepts. One dark and windy night, Lin Ziyi secretly summoned his first skeleton soldiers. It was a legion of bones, emitting an eerie blue light. You are my legion, my strength. Lin Ziyi whispered the spell, feeling the contradictory but fused power of necromancy magic and holy light. This force shocked him and made him understand that only by fusing the two forces could he find his own way. Chapter 4 The Sea of Skulls begins to appear. As the summoning technique became more and more proficient, Lin Ziyi established an increasingly large skeleton army. Every skeleton soldier is an enemy he has defeated in a part of his life. Gradually, a wave of skeletons was set off on the entire battlefield, which was terrifying. At this time, a force called the Council of Light began to notice Lin Ziyi's changes. They sent the strongest paladin, Arthur Yanhua, to investigate. Chapter 5 The Trials of the Council of Light. Arthur Flame, a paladin known as the Messenger of Light, burns the darkness like flames. His first confrontation with Lin Ziyi shocked the entire mythical world. Arthur questioned Lin's fusion of necromancer powers, believing it to be a betrayal of the light. However, in the fierce duel, they gradually discovered that there was a glimmer of light hidden in each other's contradictions. Chapter 6 The Contract of the Remains. In order to break through the shackles, Linz and Arthur made an impossible agreement, to explore the fusion of light and necromancer together. The two went to the ancient Forbidden Place Temple of the Remains together to find the lost treasure of power. Inside the temple, dangers lurked, and all kinds of bizarre monsters attacked. The two used each other's strength to resolve the crisis and established a deep bond of trust and bond. Chapter 7 Light in the Darkness. In the depths of the Shrine of the Remains, Lin Ziyi found an artifact called the Relic Core. This artifact can perfectly fuse the necromancer and the holy light, increasing the combat effectiveness of the skeleton legion to the god level. However, the price of activating the artifact is that Lin Ziyi must give up some of the shackles of the paladin and accept the dark nature of the necromancer. Faced with his inner struggle, Lin Ziyi chose to embrace himself bravely. Chapter 8 The Rise of the Sea of Skulls. Lin Ziyi, who has the core power of the holy remains, led the skeleton legion to sweep the battlefield. His skeleton will no longer be a lifeless spiritless bone, but a warrior of wisdom, loyalty, and light. The mythical world was shocked by this never-before-seen legion. Is the fusion of paladins and necromancers destruction or rebirth? Everyone muttered to themselves. Chapter 9 Betrayal and Intrigue. Just as Lin Ziyi's career was in full swing, a split broke out within the Council of Light. Arthur was accused of heresy by some radicals and was even imprisoned. Lin Ziyi learned the news and decided to venture into the Council of Light to rescue his former allies. However, there is a deeper conspiracy behind this. Someone is trying to use the power of paladins and necromancers to subvert the entire mythical world. Chapter 10 The Ultimate Showdown. Linz and Arthur join forces to fight against the conspiratorial forces of the Council of Light, a battle that sweeps the world and blurs the line between light and darkness. The sea of skeletons was turbulent, the swords of light shone, and necromancer magic roared. In the end, Lin Ziyi used the power of the core of the sacred bones to smash the conspiracy in one fell swoop and protect the balance of the mythical world. Chapter 11 The Dawn of a New World. After the war, Lin Ziyi became a symbol of the coexistence of light and death. He was no longer a mere paladin or a pure necromancer, but a being that transcended boundaries. His skeleton legion became a god-level force that guarded the world. The mythical world ushered in a new peace and hope. Chapter 12 The Shadow of the Sea of Skulls. After the conspiracy of the Council of Light was defeated, Lin Ziyi's skeleton legion grew rapidly, far exceeding everyone's expectations. However, behind the aura of victory, there is a turbulent undercurrent. One night, Lin Ziyi received an unsigned letter in his secret base, the Obsidian Fortress. The letter reads: The power at the core of the remainder is not as simple as you think. It was sealed by the ancient dark god, and that god is awakening. Lin Ziyi stared at the letter, his brows furrowed. Will the power of the Sea of Skeletons become an abyss that devours the world? Chapter 13 The Resurgence of the Ancient Dark God. Soon, a strange vortex appeared in the sky on the edge of the mythical world, and a dark aura poured in like a tide. Linz and Arthur lead the Skeleton Legion and the League of Light Knights to the Forgotten Lands, where the vortex is located. The Forgotten Land is filled with decaying and withered trees, and the air is filled with the scent of death. A huge black shadow emerged from the whirlpool, and its voice roared like a huge wave. I am the Lord of Darkness, Nagro, who has been asleep for 1,000 years and has revived today. Lin Ziyi felt unprecedented pressure, and he knew that the real trial had just begun. Chapter 14 The Trial of the Fusion of Light and Necromancer. Nagro's power was so great that even the holy light could not completely dispel his darkness. Lin Ziyi decided to open the final form of the core of the sacred remains, Bright Bone Fusion. This is the limit state of completely fusing the holy light with the power of the necromancer, but it also consumes his own life force. Arthur clutched the hilt of his sword and looked at Lin Ziyi. Ziyi, no matter what the outcome, we will live and die together. Lin Ziyi nodded, slowly closed his eyes, and chanted a spell in his heart. Light and darkness collided fiercely in his body, and the brilliant light and the cold necromancer aura intertwined into an incomparably magnificent scene. Chapter 15 The Blade of the Bright Bones. When Lin Ziyi opened his eyes, he had completely transformed into a naked warrior. His blade burned with pure holy light, but it was covered in black necromancer runes. His skeleton legion is also radiating unprecedented vitality at this moment, and each skeleton is like a miracle of symbiosis between the holy light and the necromancer. Nagro, today is your end. Lin Ziyi shouted and led the legion to charge the Lord of Darkness. Chapter 16 The Decisive Battle of Nagro. The fierce battle unfolds, the Lord of Darkness's magic surges like a sea, and the Legion of Light Skeletons is unstoppable. Linz and Nagro engage in a desperate duel in the heart of the Forgotten Lands, where sword light and dark magic intertwine into a dazzling picture. Lin Ziyi used his fusion power to launch the skeleton slash, tearing apart the dark core of Nagro. Nagro let out a shocking roar and dissipated into countless black shadows. The battle is over, and the sky is back to light. Chapter 17 The New Guardian. The defeat of Nagro ushered in a brief period of tranquility in the mythical world. Lin Ziyi stood in the center of the battlefield, and the power of the holy bones on his body gradually subsided. Arthur walked up to Linz, patted him on the shoulder, and said, You are not only the Lord of the Sea of Skeletons, but also the true guardian of the mythical world. Lin Ziyi looked at the sunrise in the distance and knew in his heart that this was just a new beginning. He will continue to shoulder the mission of light and darkness to protect this land. Chapter 18 The Symphony of Light and Darkness. Years later, Linz has become a legend in the mythical world. The Skeleton Legion is no longer a symbol of fear, but an iron wall in defense of peace. The power of the light and the necromancer merged perfectly in him, creating a completely new myth. Linz and Arthur looked at the sunset at the top of the castle and smiled at each other. No matter what the future holds, light and darkness will always be together. Chapter 19 The Inheritance of the Sea of Skulls. Lin Ziyi's corpse power gradually stabilized, and he decided to establish a relic academy to teach the secret art of fusing holy light and necromancer. Young people from all over the world gathered together to learn the mysteries of light and darkness. Lin Ziyi hopes that the future guardians will no longer be divided by boundaries, but will know how to integrate and coexist. Within the academy, the Skeleton Legion becomes the guardian's bodyguard, becoming a symbol of the new world. Chapter 20 New Threats. Under the calm, a mysterious force quietly rose. They believe in the god of nothingness and try to devour all life and power and reduce the world to nothingness. This force possesses the dark magic that corrupts everything, posing an unprecedented threat to the remainder legion. Lin Ziyi once again swung his bare blade, ready to meet a new round of storm. Chapter 21 The Conspiracy of the Void God. Linz and Arthur led their armies to track down the traces of the nihilistic forces and penetrate deep into the desolate realm. The god of nothingness appeared, his tone was cold. Your light and your dead spirits are only fleeting, and only nothingness is the ultimate truth. A battle for the survival of the world broke out again. Chapter 22 The Finale of Light and Nothingness. After experiencing countless lives and deaths, Lin Ziyi realized a new power, the Eternal Light Skeleton. This power can merge light, necromancer, and even nothingness, transcending all boundaries. In the ultimate battle, Lin Ziyi used his Eternal Light Bones to cut off the corrosion of the Void God and save the world. Chapter 23 The Dawn of Peace. After the war, the mythical world ushered in unprecedented peace. Linz and Arthur lead a new generation of guardians to protect the land together. Light and darkness, necromancer, and life, in their hands is perfectly balanced. Chapter 24 The Legend Lives On. Lin Ziyi engraved his story on the inscription of the Holy Skeleton Academy and became a hero praised by later generations. The skeleton transforms into an eternal symbol that guards the mythical world. Arthur said beside Linz. Your legend belongs not only to you, but to the whole world. Finale. The era of light and darkness has come to an end, and a new legend has just begun. Lin Ziyi stood at the top of the world, staring at the infinite starry sky. Light or darkness, true strength comes from inner harmony. He smiled and greeted the infinite possibilities of the future. Postscript. This is a story of integration and growth. When you dare to accept your own contradictions, when you dare to transcend boundaries, you can create unparalleled power. The legend of Lin Ziyi's holy remains, tells us. Light and darkness are the poles that dance together forever. And we, everyone, can become the master of our own destiny.